Hello, it is I are Smart, and ever since I made that video about Star Wars character designs being over-sexualized, it's led me kind of down a dark path of thinking, and if I follow my thoughts to their logical conclusion, it will lead us to a place we cannot go, or rather, one Disney does not want us to. So, to put it plainly, sex in Star Wars. How does it work? I'm just going to preface, there's going to be a lot of innuendos, or how do you say euphemisms, and other stuff in this video I'm going to be talking about. So, yeah. Anyway, so if you're not familiar, sex is now canon in Star Wars because of Andor. At least that's my understanding, because I don't think intercourse was ever fully, explicitly mentioned like it was in Andor, because basically like in Andor, you see two people and they go to a bed together. Like, I don't think we've ever seen anything like that in Star Wars before. It's obviously been implied before, like Luke and Leia came from somewhere, and Anakin and Padme were married, so I mean we can kind of figure, but we never really like saw them kind of doing anything that was implied as sex. Like, we saw them like in bed together in episode 3 just kind of sleeping, but that's just sleeping, right? There was nothing implied of anything else going on there. So I'm pretty sure that Andor was the first example of this happening, and this opens up a whole can of worms of questions I have that they need answers. That's what we're going to try and find in this video. I'm going to look for some answers to these questions because it's Star Wars, everything needs an explanation. There's 7 forms of lightsaber combat. How does hyperspace work? How do all these different things in Star Wars work? Everything needs an explanation. So let's start with Anakin and Padme, right? So they were married at the end of episode 2. I think that follows. And then there's a 3-year period of the Clone Wars, right? Where we have the Clone Wars animated series going on, and that ends at the end of Revenge of the Sith when Luke and Leia are born, right? So there's about a 3-year period here. So, assuming that, based on how I understand it, I'm going to assume that pregnancies are still 9 months in the Star Wars universe, because that's how they are in real life, usually. But anyway, so if there's a 9-month period, at some point during the Clone Wars, Anakin and Padme got together and did the thing, right? So sometime, I guess Anakin had a break. He was like, hey guys, I know we're busy fighting the Separatists, but I gotta go home to Coruscant, and all that. So some point, right? And then, so Padme is pregnant for 9 months. And we know for a fact that Anakin and Padme were talking on hologram calls. We see this in Season 7 of the Clone Wars. We know they were chatting up. They were talking to each other. How did Anakin only find out that she was pregnant in Episode 3? How? Is Anakin just that stupid? Does he seriously not realize? Like, did he just think she was getting fat? Like, did he not see the huge baby bump? Did he not know that was a baby bump? Because his family says, Anakin, I'm pregnant. And he's like, this is great news. Like, dude, she's 9 months pregnant. You're only just now realizing it? Anakin, how? How did he not know this? Huh? You're gonna seriously tell me Anakin just didn't know? No, I guess it kind of makes sense. I don't think the Jedi probably told him how pregnancy works. So maybe he really just didn't know what he was doing. He was just kind of going along with it. And then he was like, oh, you have a baby in you? That's cool. I didn't know that's how that worked. Cool. Good job, Padme. So anyway, yeah, but like, how did the rest of Coruscant know? You're gonna seriously tell me that there weren't tabloids talking about Senator Padme's secret child? Who could the father be? You're gonna tell me that wasn't a thing on Coruscant? I believe that was a thing. And none of Padme's coworkers, she just not go into the Senate ever? Like no one was like, hey Padme, why are you pregnant? Like, you're not married. Like, who's the dad? No one asked her these questions. They all just avoided her. Huh? Did Padme did Anakin just force trick everybody that asked about it? Like, hey Padme, who's that? You don't want to know about the pregnancy. I don't want to know about the pregnancy. Did Anakin go around doing that or something? I don't know. Wait. I got another question. Okay, so do contraceptives exist in Star Wars? I think they would. It's a pretty advanced society. Do they got pills, rubbers, all that stuff? I would assume they got more advanced versions of that. What is that stuff like? And is there an abortion clinic in Star Wars? Do those happen? Do you think they have those? Right? I need to know what my Planned Parenthood options are in the Star Wars universe. Please, can we get a show about that? I need. Also, what is it even like to have sex with a Force user? Right? Could they use the Force to enhance their performance in the bedroom? Is that a thing? Can that happen? I don't want to think about this anymore. Let's move on to the next point. So, Luke and Leia, right? We know they kissed a few times. One of them being a very deep kiss. So that's already weird, right? That was because, in the original trilogy, Lucas originally planned for Luke and Leia to be a thing, and then just in Empire Strikes Back, it just worked out that Leia and Han worked together better. So when Episode 6 came around, they were like, alright, let's make Luke and Leia siblings, you know? Give some more tension to that final scene with Luke and Vader, where Vader says, hey, if you won't turn to the dark side, I'll turn Leia to the dark side. If you didn't know, that's the reason. Some people will still say stuff like, oh, George Lucas planned it from the beginning, he always knew Luke and Leia were siblings. That is 100% not true. It's just an idea he had while they came up with Episode 6, and that's what they went with. So, it would have been fine had Lucas just retconned it and been like, you know, whatever, that's, you know, they kissed, they didn't know, that's fine, whatever. But he makes Leia say this little line where she says, somehow I've always known. What the heck, George? What do you mean somehow she's always known? That makes it worse. That makes it worse. Okay, so now this kind of gets me, like, so we already know they kissed. Now I'm worried, did they ever do more than just kiss? It's entirely possible, but while we're on the topic of incest, let's talk about the Mandalorians. So Mandalorian Season 3, we see that there's this covert of Mandalorians, right? They're all living in a cave, and we see that the Pez Vizsla guy, he has a kid, looks to be about 10 years old. Who's the mother? Do you ever think about that? Who's the mom? It's never like explicitly told to us. We can probably assume that because of the way the Mandalorians are, they don't really interact with anything else. They've been hiding in this cave. They really don't interact with people, and that's why they're kind of mad when Mando keeps leaving to go interact with other people. They're like, dude, people are gonna find out about it. So they're very, you know, they're a very tightly knit community. They don't really leave. So the mother must be one of the other Mandalorians, right? So we can kind of assume that if that's what Paz Vizsla is doing, all the other ones are probably doing that. So they're all just kind of, you know, the only way that new kids ever get born in the Mandalorian cult is of parents that are in this cult, which only has like maybe 30 people in it. If you kind of get what I'm getting at, there's got to be a lot of inbreeding, man. Come on, you can't deny it. There's got to be a ton of inbreeding. All right, they're all cousins. They're all cousins in that Mandalorian covert. You know it. It's Space Alabama out there. All right. It's just like, now sure, they do steal children too, because I mean, like we see that they just kind of took Din Djarin and were like, hey kid, you're a Mandalorian now, and just stole him. But like, you're really gonna tell me they do that for every child they only like adopt? Nah, they are 100% inbreeding. It's definitely happening in there. So anyway, this also does beg the question, like, you know, they have that whole keeping the helmet on rule. They never take their helmets off. That also must apply, you know, during the child making process, right? Like, you know, they don't put helmets on babies, but they put them on when they get to a certain age. But like as adult, they never take it off. So like, if you're in the presence of another person and you're there to make a kid, they're gonna have to keep it on. So it's just gonna be like bonk, 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 bonk the whole time. Like that, I feel like they get kind of annoying personally. That's just me. But I don't know. Maybe I'll try it if I ever do have sex. Maybe I'll try Mandalorian style. Maybe it's fun. I don't know. Okay, now it's time to talk about Twi'leks. I've talked about Twi'leks a decent amount. Basically, they're the sexy alien girls of Star Wars. And that's really the only reason they exist. Because George Lucas was like, okay, there's this race of aliens. And they're all like mostly women. And they're all really hot. And yeah, and that's really it. And then the crazy thing is people come up with all these lore explanations. They're like, oh, why are there so many sex slave Twi'leks? And why do they wear such revealing clothing? Oh, well, actually, they have higher than normal body temperatures. And this makes it so that they have to wear less clothing. And it makes them really great partners. And so that's why they're a really popular slave race. And because this, like, senator guy, like, sells them all into slavery. It's like, huh? What are we talking about? Like, sure, you can... All these different people, like, in their EU stuff have made up explanations for why Twi'leks are the way that they are. We all know the real reason. It's just because that's the way George made them. He wanted there to be hot alien girls. And so there's hot alien girls in Star Wars. And I mean, like, I'm not complaining. I'm like, yeah, these alien girls are indeed hot. Thanks, George Lucas. But also, kind of messed up, man. Just saying. And then one last thought to leave you on. I mean, people have been saying this for years, but Leia and Jabba. Do I even need to say it? You kind of get where that's going. Did they? Did that happen? Did it happen? It probably did. Probably didn't, but like it could have. It easily could have happened. Like, I'm just throwing it out there. Okay, so this video kind of sucked. I mean, it was an interesting topic. I felt it needed to be talked about. Hope it wasn't too weird for you. Hope I didn't weird you out too much. Please stay. I swear I do other stuff. It's something I wanted to get off my chest. I want to talk about this. All right. This is the kind of stuff that keeps me awake at night. People are asking all sorts of questions, you know, big important stuff like how does this thing in Star Wars work? How does the Force work? How do lightsabers work? I'm like, how does sex work? And so how does that happen, huh? Like, we need this to be explained more in Star Wars. I hope you realize this was all satire, though. I actually don't want this to be explained in Star Wars. That'd be very stupid. People ask for, like, rated R Star Wars. I'm like, why? I could kind of see it being cool, but it would just not work, I don't think. That kind of just, it would take away. Like, I think Andor being more adult-themed is good, but if it were rated R, that'd just be silly, I think. I don't know. I don't need to see blood and guts in Star Wars. That just wouldn't be right. And I don't need to see explicit sex in Star Wars. Again, that wouldn't be good. So, I don't know. But anyway, those are all my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments, or don't. Honestly, I'd be fine if you don't with this topic. Yeah, but I mean, leave a comment anyway. Just say something. Literally, just say anything in the comments. It will help the video, please. I'm literally begging you. Just say something, okay? It helps the video so much. You guys don't even know. Literally, just comment anything. Please, just comment something, okay? It helps the video get out to more people, please. Okay, this is the end of the video. Bye.